Hey, okay, I think my face is not being blurred out here. Uh, my name is Donald Taylor, and I was the one that the Lord caught me up many years ago in 1988 and brought me into a future time where He sent me back from America to Canada to bring the final warning, evacuation, and destruction of the West Coast. I was sent up, and David Terrell, God's prophet to the world, sent me out saying you have to get back to your own country because it's imperative. And so there was a people that were already prepared for an exodus, but this is the time that God. Remember what I'm looking for in Revelation 6. That's where I'm at. Revelation 6 to 7, and I've been looking for this earthquake event, right? When the Lord took me out, and I remember the angel of the Lord, he spoke to me. He says, it's saying, God is asking you to command a major destructive earthquake in the Pacific. And, I had a choice. I had a choice to obey or not to obey the word of the Lord. I remember looking up at the face of the Father and seeing His eyes. I seen the love that He had for His people, but I did not see His mercy because the people had time to flee the West Coast and they took the message lightly. And just recently, the last week, the second last time that I went to see Johnny, the Lord put it in my spirit. For you on the West Coast there, God is now ringing the bell. This is the third time He's ringing the bell. And He's saying if you stay on the West Coast, we know the West Coast has been having a lot of shakings, you're going to pay the price of your unpreparedness, of not heeding the word. So I guess the word of the Lord is going out to the West Coast, and to get away from the West Coast, God's about to bring forth His judgment. Before the earthquake, what the Lord showed me, that was total destruction. That earthquake, it was total destruction. Vancouver was literally wiped off the map. But we know that revival hasn't come yet, and that revival will break out in Vancouver. That there will be an earthquake, according to David Terrell, that would usher in a dead-raising revival on the West Coast. So there's evidence for a preliminary earthquake to take place as a sign of revival, and also the quake that I saw that the angel of the Lord had me to decree. And I've been looking for it in the scriptures. Because in the visions, it seemed as if, and this is when I came out of it, this is what it felt like. It seemed as if I was in the day of the Lord. But these 7 visions had to do about being taken into the day of the Lord. And just getting this out there is something for you to pray about. It's something that the Lord's opening up my eyes to understand, get more revelation and on that experience. So I've been searching Revelation 6, just going over it, and if you look at the seals, right? It's Yeshua that's opening up the seals. The first thing I seen when I started going over Revelations again, Revelation 6, the seals, is that when one seal is opened up and another seal is opened up, the seals are not closed. They remain open. That means the events that happen in the first seal will be happening in the second seal, and so on. The events happening in the second seal the events of the first seal are still ongoing, like they don't come to an end. I just seen this. The Lord opened the eyes of my understanding to this, and it gives a whole different, deeper interpretation of Revelation 6. And to understand Revelation 6, I believe it's the key to understanding the book of Revelations, right here. So if you look at the events between the first seal and the sixth seal or seventh seal, just before the sealing of the 144,000. So from chapter 6, verse 1 up to 17, 6:17. This is a time frame. That's another thing the Lord showed me today. It doesn't say that these are the 3.5 years, 1,260 days or whatever, but it would have to happen within a 3.5 year period. Because if you go on to read, that means a lot of stuff's been happening that we're definitely going into the third seal, and that talks about famine. I mean, the signs of that are evident. The fourth seal is another thing that the Lord opened up to me this morning. The Lord cleans up your understanding over time. He gives you greater illumination of truth, right? Because a lot of times when you grow up, we only get partial truth in the revelation of the Word. There's a lot of stuff that has to be worked out. It says they were given power. This is verse 8. I don't have my glasses on. 9. They were given power over a fourth of the earth to kill by sword, by war, famine and plague. So it's the fourth part of the earth, the fourth part of the planet. War, it's going to be in a state of war, famine, and plague. The fourth part of the earth is going to experience this. It's not that a quarter of the population will be killed. It doesn't say that. That's what I thought, previous to the last hour. But if you go on to read, it talks about the raising up of the 144,000, that they're about to go forth to carry out their ministry. If you go through it and read it all, that lasts 3.5 years, right? And we know that this starts in Revelation 7, the sealing of the 144,000. So from Revelation 6 would be the initial 3.5 years that we're going through now, where the seals are being broken. That's leading up to the sealing of the 144,000, and also the outpouring of God's wrath upon the world. We could be seeing this soon, and it's possible that the earthquake that the Lord had me to speak in 1988 could be the fulfillment of the great earthquake, because it seemed like I was taken into the day of the Lord, when God pronounces His wrath upon mankind. That's all I'm saying. It's the Lord knows, right? But pray about it. I'm not making myself out to be anybody or anything. Just revealing what I've seen in those visions. And there's another one. It talks about the 144,000 to be sealed. Today's really been a day of revelation on this great holy day. Revelations 9. After the sealing, I don't have my glasses on, and this is what really caught my attention. After this, I looked, and there before me was a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, tribe, and throne. they were wearing white robes, right? And verse 11, it says, well, the angels ask, where did they come from? And verse 14, it says, and he said, these are they who have come out of the great tribulation. They have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Therefore, they are before the throne of God and serve him day and night in his temple. And, so they come out of the great tribulation. So why would you want to fly away? It's saying here very plain. If you're part of this great crowd, you're not part of the rapture, right? The only way that these people would have died that are kings and priests, they gave their life as a testimony, right? Very interesting, very interesting. They came out of the great tribulation. So the kings and priests that's going to serve God night and day, they're going to come out of the great tribulation. Because they give their lives as a ransom, as for the Lord, right? So if God's called you to be a king and priest in heaven, you'll be going through the great tribulation, and you will give your life as a martyr after your time is finished. And it seems like this may parallel the 144,000. This is so good. So you have the robes in white. So the 144,000, they raise up. Just give me a minute to read this. So the 144,000 are sealed. So they're going to go through the tribulation, but they're going to be sealed. They'll go through their 3.5 ministry. So I'm not sure whether 144,000 are part of the two witnesses. I need more revelation on it. But there is a 7-year period. So I don't know if Revelation 6 is leading up to that 7-year period, or is it the first 3.5 years? There's definitely the birth pangs. You're just really going to have to seek the Lord on this. But these are questions I know that's on a lot of people's hearts. But we know that we are in the seals, or maybe middle part of the seals, and that all right up to the 6th seal, we may see the 6th seal next April, according to the 7 visions that the Lord gave me. Possible. So all these events, the seals will be broken, all these events will come upon the earth. So that means we're going to see, we're already seeing famine, right? That's been happening. And that peace has been taken away, right? The first seal. And power is being given over to a quarter of the earth to be killed by war, famine, and plague. This could be in the process of happening already, because we know what Sadhu Sivaraj was shown, there will be martyrdom when we go into 2021. The 5th seal. Happen in a very short space of time. And it's one thing, it talks about the martyrs give their seal, their lives, right? So we know that revival is taking place during this time. And we know that what the Lord showed Ephraim Rodriguez, about this asteroid impact, in Puerto Rico, it ushers in the revival. It ushers in the revival. And this could cause the big quake in the west coast, as David saw, Terrell saw, as a sign of revival. So everything seems to be fitting into place. To understand the 6th chapter of Revelations, I really believe it is the key to being able to understand the rest of the book. And why does it say those that read the book of Revelations, why are they blessed? Because it's, these are the mysteries of God, right? And if we really have a hunger, we'll seek out the mysteries. We'll seek, it says, Lord, show me what's written in your book. Bring forth the revelation of your understanding. So it's a revelation of being able to understand the book of Revelations as we press in to walk in to a greater degree of the Holy Spirit. So every time you read it, it's like you're reading it for the first time again, and that you're getting new revelation. The Lord's opening up your eyes. That's how we're supposed to read the book of Revelations. If we read it just with our mind, you're not going to get nothing out of it. Very little. But this is really incredible, especially on this holy day today. So we could see the fulfillment, and I'll just put this out to you, of the 6th seal, sin. It could be at the door. These could be the birth pangs. These could be the initial 3.5 year period. Well, we know that another 42 months is going to take place where the 144,000 go forth. If I had a choice, I could say this where I would be safe. The Revelation 6 are the birth pangs leading up to Revelation 7. I could say that and be safe, right? It wouldn't be breaking or adding to the word. We're definitely in the birth pangs that lead up to the ministry of the 144,000 going forth, where God also raises up his royal priesthood, right? You got the 12 tribes being sealed, and also, it talks about, after this I looked, and there before me was a great multitude that no one could count, from every tribe, nation, people, and language, standing before the throne. And they were wearing white robes and were holding palm branches in their hands. And they cried out to the Lord in a loud voice, "Salvation belongs to our God, who sits on the throne, and to the Lamb." They are they before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his temple. Right? And these are they who have come out of the great tribulation. They have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. This royal priesthood that God's raising up. Right? Kings and priests. Pretty incredible. Just going to leave it here. Don't take nothing what I say without checking it out by the Word and by the revelation of the Holy Spirit. Going to leave it here. Joshua Taylor coming to you today from my little place here in Boston Bar, British Columbia.